Hey, I'm a Shawn Camp is who I am, and what do I do? I do as little as possible, and in all aspects of the music business.
So, did you know Guy Clark
Sure.
personally?
Oh yeah.
What did that mean for you to play with Verlin today?
Well, it was great. It was like Guy and Verlin and I both played with Guy for years, and Verlin was on the road with Guy for over 20 years, as his sidekick, and I sometimes went out with the two of them as a band, and sometimes when Verlin wasn't there, I was taking Verlin's place with Guy, and also recorded all Guy's records with him in the last 15 years, and co-produced his last album.
So you're a friend, personal friend.
Yeah, I co-produced My Favorite Picture of You, which won his only Grammy
I love that album.
that he ever won,
And then you were also on the Merle Haggard record with Willie Nelson.
I actually played the guitar on that acoustic guitar on the Django and Jimmy record with Merle and Willie, and then also Merle's last album that he actually recorded, the solo album. I played guitar on that one too.
So what
it's
else?
Not out yet.
Well, all the folks that I've interviewed over the years, the real deal, like Jim Lauderdale, Marty Stewart, Peter Rowan, lifelong troubadours that have always evolved. And I see a lot of that in you as well. They always told me in so many words that it was all about being close to the source.
Yeah.
What can you speak to that with the folks that you've been around, these giants of the industry, but you've been close to the source? What does that say to you as an influence, of what you've learned from them?
Well, I don't know exactly what you mean, other than the way that my philosophy really has always been to whatever genre of music you may be listening to, go as close to the spring water of that music as you can, and that's been my theory, to try to soak that up. At least you're getting it as pure in that area as you can get it. You know what I mean? So if you bring that to your music, the purity of a specific genre, as far back as you can go, influence wise, and soak that up, absorb that, it's going to come out in your world too.
Well, I always felt that the best singer-songwriters of any genre are also historians and researchers.
Well, I certainly am. I've soaked up as much as I can. I read everything, go to the places I can where Hank Williams stood. And, we just stopped in Montgomery and went to Hank's grave on the way to this festival, and we ate at this little hot dog stand that Hank Williams used to eat at, and write song lyrics on the bar, at the bar stools where we were sitting. That's where Hank Williams sat there and wrote out lyrics to his song.
I was in Winchester, Virginia on my way back from New York last week. Driving
Patsy
down.
Cline.
Didn't know it. Went for a run from the hotel. Ended up in front of her house. It was almost like fate.
Wow.
Where I went to turn around was right where her house was.
I played
right
there
near the college
in
there.
the 90s. I was on Warner Brothers in the early 90s as a mainstream country act. And I played in Winchester. And some girls took us to Patsy Cline's grave,
Yep.
We talked to the guy that ran the cemetery, and about the Patsy Cline, and
I'm the same way, man.
I'm a
sponge. I want to hear
I
it
am
all.
too.
Tell me it all. I got time.
I go to graves, man, and that's kind of creepy and weird, but I like, you go to the grave sites of
You're honoring them too, though.
Of Randy Hughes and Hawkshaw Hawkins and Cowboy Copas. Those three guys that were in the plane with Patsy Cline, they're buried within 20 feet of each other in Nashville, and just across the driveway is Lefty Frizzell's grave, and next to him is String Bean and Estelle's grave, and Cousin Jody, who was the lap steel player on the Grand Ole Opry, comedian, he's buried right there. And it's just a, like when Keith Whitley recorded "I Never Go Around Mirrors," there was only a verse and a chorus to that song, and Whitey Schaefer and Lefty Frizzell wrote that song. But Keith Whitley wanted to record it, and RCA said, well, there's only one verse. It's too short.
Still going.
And so Whitey wrote another verse, a new verse that he wrote long after Lefty was in the ground, his co-writer. So Keith Whitley took the lyrics the morning he recorded "I Never Go Around Mirrors." He went to Lefty's grave, and he read the lyrics out to Lefty's grave, and went right into the studio and recorded it.
So what do you see right now? It might come across as a loaded question, but what do you see when you look at Nashville? Because as a music journalist, we're at a huge crossroads right now of personal intent, artistic, creative intent. I see an upheaval, finally, of the pop stuff. I see people finding back doors into Nashville. Like I was saying before with Jason Isbell and things like that, where if they're not going to get accepted by the major labels, they're going to find a way in anyways.
Well, like my friend Chris Stapleton, I've known him for years, and
him and Sturgill and everything,
yeah, and Sturgill's great, but those guys are filling up these huge coliseums, and they don't have any airplay. Yeah. Country radio won't play them. Yeah, and they've
which I call pop radio.
I call it bullshit. That's what I call it, and that's you can put that in print. I don't give a damn anymore. I'll just tell you. Sick of it. I can't listen to it. Most of it.
Well, the labels are afraid if people realize what real country was, that those bands get pushed aside. So what they do is they throw it into Americana. They say, "Oh, well, this is the catch-all. It's Americana."
Well, the thing is, you and I have spent our whole lives soaking up the real stuff, and they expect us to take this stuff they're forcing down our throats. That's just a nuts bunch of horse shit's what it is. And
do you see the transition right now? I mean, do you see?
It just seems like it's over to me. I mean,
what,
Nashville,
the pop stuff, or Nashville's dead, or what?
I don't know. It's Nashville.
You're probably like me. You think about it a lot, but it gets frustrating.
I don't. It's not there. The Nashville that I moved there to be a part of is gone.
Yeah.
And all of my heroes just about are dead and gone.
Well, I asked Ricky Skaggs one time. I said, if you went to Nashville today, would you be as successful? And he said, hell no.
Well, Ricky Skaggs is a hero of mine for sure, and just the sweetest guy, and one of the most talented guys I ever was. And I love Ricky Skaggs with all my heart, man. And he changed a lot when he stayed true to what he was, and he opened so many doors to country music. And it was in another spell like this, and Ricky Skaggs, and then George Strait and Randy Travis, that crew right there, really kind of moved it around.